Hi guys, I've got a question on behalf of one of the members at People's Golf Club, and what I want to discuss today is how to open up in the golf swing properly. So basically what this video will entail is this golfer's been struggling with early extension and closed club face at the top of the backswing, okay? So what's happening is this member's struggling with hooks and blocks, but it's all associated with the same problem, okay? So he's aware that he's got a closed club face at the top of the backswing. So what I mean by closed club face at the top of the backswing is if I take the club back, and normally the leading edge should be 45 degrees to a 45 degree angle at the top of the backswing. But what's happening is that angle, so the grooves have went from a square position where the grooves are facing towards the target. What happens is the grooves are pointing more towards the sky, so the grooves are pointing more towards the sky in a closed position. And what's happening is, because this member, he plays off 16 handicap, and what happens is when he's towards the end of his round, he struggles a little bit with shanking, and he struggles with a block as well. It's all related to the same problem. But the first thing that I'm going to talk about is, because the club face, he is aware of that the club face is closed at the top of the backswing. So what happens is he creates a problem called early extension, okay? So what happens is he gets to the top of the backswing, and he realises if he fully releases the club on that, well, if he has a good release, let's say it's a good release, because the club face is closed, he's aware that the ball flick's going to go solid to the left, okay? So that anxiety of the closed club face coupled with early extension can create a lot of problems. But I'm here today to obviously help him pick a solution to improve on that and take his game to the next level, okay? So what's happening is, obviously, early extension is when the pelvis thrusts forward, everything moves forward, the shaft stands up, the hands get a little bit high, and from here it's quite a high finish with the elbows bent quite close to the body in this finish, okay? So what we need to try and incorporate is a better club face position halfway back, okay? So early extension is basically, it's like starting a race, okay? So if I was to, say I was throwing something, okay? It's not really a race, but if I was to throw on the ground or against the wall for longer, okay? So if I was to throw something, my body would maintain its position all the way through. But what happens is early releases and early start, I like to refer it as, so what happens is when they take their arm back to throw at the ball, their body's moving forward, so they're almost taking a fall, they're making a false start, okay? So what's happening from here is the path's going out to the right, so we're standing up to try and get the path going out to the right. Because club face is closed, we get this high handle, quite a vertical handle through impact, vertical shaft play, which steepens the angle of attack, okay? And what happens is the low point is nowhere to be seen here. So what we need to think about is we need to do the opposite to that. So we need to keep, obviously, this golfer struggles with early extension. So what happens is the legs are quite static, they don't really move a lot. So in order to combat early extension, we need to sort this club face out, okay? So you can early extend from when the club face is open and close it. It just depends what compensations you have in your head to make, okay? So if I get top of the backswing, I want to keep the closed club face at the moment, but I need to make my lower body move more efficiently. So we need to open up. This video is called open up towards the target instead of being stuck, okay? So this early extension is a compensation to try and get unstuck, okay? So what we need to do is, when we get to the top of the backswing, feel like our lower body initiates first, then from here our hands can turn out the way, okay? So if I get a stick, what happens, right? When people early extend, this cane goes up vertically too early, okay? My lead hip almost starts thrusting up the way too early, okay? So we want to do the opposite, keep this lead hip down for longer through impact, keep this trail hip a little bit higher, okay? So when golfers extend too early, what's going to happen is this cane is going to be in our line of sight, okay? So for example, if I was to rotate properly through impact, that cane would disappear because my left hip initiates the downswing. and then the lead hips, or the trail hip, sorry, is left quite high, okay? So, two things we need to worry about or work on here. So if you're struggling with extension, closed club face, the thing I like to sort first is club face, but I won't really need to worry about that too much, okay? So, get top of that swing, focus this stick, gets almost turned out of the way quickly so that stick, the left hand side of that stick disappears. But from here is, I want to feel like my hips are pushed behind me, okay? So if my hips are pushed behind me, what happens is that right leg can come into the equation, okay? So get top of the backswing, then left hip turns out the way, then that stick disappears, okay? And from here, this will eliminate a high hand path, okay? So this high hand path is only going to create the club head to be more open through impact, okay? So focus on hips first, and then always focus on the hips should always react to what, or the hand should always react to what the hips do, okay? So if I was to go like that, and then I'll extend, lead hip would be high too early, hands are going to be high, okay? So low left hip on the way through and low hand path, okay? So low hands, exiting left, and feel like you're releasing the club properly, okay? So if I get to the top of the backswing, don't want to extend with this lead hip gets down too early. I want to get to the top of that swing, turn out the way, get this cane behind me quite early, then that should get the hand path going low and left, okay? So don't want a high finish with my hands. So low hip turn initiated by a low hand turn, okay? So I don't want my hands to finish high up the shoulder, I want my hands to finish almost the waist height, or halfway between shoulder and waist height, okay? So if you've got any thoughts on that video, apologies if you can't hear me properly, I'm totally cold. So I thought that it's the first footage I've had in the last couple of weeks due to the weather. So got any thoughts on that video? There's a drill, or two drills, sorry, to work on L extension club face. So if you're struggling with closed club face, obviously this lead wrist is too bowed at the top. So if it was bowed, then it would face like the Sky Dustin Johnson style. So I want you to soften that slightly by trying to get this lead wrist more to point towards the ground, which would be in a more cupped position, okay? So if you've got any thoughts on that video, there should be a little bubble top right hand corner, just like that, or subscribe to my channel, Jamie Allan Golf. And if you've got any questions, fire them below. If you've got any problems with your game that you've accumulated over Christmas, or from lack of playing, I'll get to your questions as soon as possible, and I'll cover a lot more of your tips. Thank you.